Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 471 based on novel. So let's start. The cultivators from the summoned river stood on their bolts of lightning. Some carried one person, some carried more than 10, and some carried even hundreds of cultivators on them. The summoned river cultivators that had never appeared in the other 3-star systems before appeared in this shocking manner. The bolts of lightning gave off a thunderous rumble. They were so fast that they were impossible to track with the naked eye. Their clothes were a bit strange, they were military-like, seeming as if they had uniform attire at a glance. Although they weren't identical, it only seemed as if they were from different countries. One thing that was very strange was that a majority of the cultivators were female cultivators. This was something that was extremely rare in all heaven, the Cloud Sea, and the Alliance. Among the tens of thousands of cultivators from the summoned river, only a few thousand were males. The summoned river cultivators all had a serious expressions, they were determined and filled with killing intent. Although they were female, at this moment, their killing intent wasn't lacking. A scholar-like cultivator wearing a long shirt stood on a dragon-shaped lightning bolt. Her hair fluttered, revealing a beautiful face. Beside her was a beautiful middle-aged woman who was silently following on a bolt of lightning. On the All-Heaven side, a large amount of All-Heaven cultivators came through the ripples along with the cultivation's planets. They were from various families, but they were united. Master Lu Fu was in front and he charged forward with a gloomy expression. He waved his sleeves and his broken sword flew out. At this moment, they were not summoned river cultivators or all-heaven cultivators. At this moment, they were all inner realm cultivators. The reinforcements from all heaven and the summoned river made the few thousand remaining Cloud Sea cultivators even more excited. They were already not afraid of death, and when they saw reinforcements, they became even more energetic. As for the outer realm cultivators, although they had more people, their hearts were shaken. As the poison ocean and mosquito beasts attacked, miserable screams echoed and they quickly scattered. As a result, it was as if they were routed. Wang Lin's roar was like a powerful blow that had collapsed the remaining resistance in the hearts of the outer realm cultivators. The Fire Sparrow clan ancestor is dead. The third step cultivator Nan Jiao is dead. The Sovereign Council's Grandmaster Yuo Luo is dead. Next is you. Wang Lin's eyes were bloodshot as he walked forward waving the axe. Thunderous rumbles echoed and corpses filled the area. Master South Cloud was battling the Celestial Imperial concubine. At this moment, the girl from Summoned River that was dressed like a man closed in with lightning popping around her. Fellow cultivator South Cloud, lead this person to Purple Dream. The scholar said softly. She then waved her jade-like hand as she stepped into the battlefield. Master South Cloud smiled and retreated, no longer looking at the Celestial Imperial concubine. He took Ling Dong and Ju Jin with him and began repairing the realm ceiling formation. Lowly servant, why hasn't your elder sister come? The pupils of the Celestial Imperial concubine shrank and she let out a cold snort. The two of them attacked each other, but it was difficult for a victor to be determined. The scholar-looking woman remained calm and softly said, "Elder sister will be here soon, you can wait a moment." As for Master Hongshan, the beautiful middle-aged woman and Master Lu Fu joined the battle, which lessened the burden on Master Hongshan. However, the cold-looking boy became gloomy. The attack of All Heaven and Summoned River caused the collapsed Outer Realm army to suffer even more death. The miserable scream of death seemed to linger for an eternality. Although most of the Summoned River cultivators were female, their attacks were all fierce. They specialized in speed, and their bolts of lightning zipped around the battlefield. The female Summoned River cultivators were launching their most powerful attacks. As for All Heaven, thunderous rumbles echoed within the formation made of over 900 planets. Phantoms of planets appeared and they smashed toward the Outer Realm cultivators. As the poison ocean raged, the Outer Realm cultivators screamed miserably as they melted into pools of blood and died one by one. Large amounts of mosquito beasts attacked these cultivators. They would often swarm a cultivator, and in an instant the cultivator's blood and origin energy would be sucked dry before becoming mummified. The Outer Realm cultivators were forced back again and again. Nearly 10,000 cultivators died in this short period of time, and they continued to retreat. Their confidence had been destroyed by Wang Lin when he killed 3 people. They no longer dared to battle. When they first came, they were filled with confidence. In their eyes, the inner realm cultivators were mere ants. They had come to kill and rob, thinking the inner realm couldn't put up any strong resistance. In truth, after they entered the inner realm, the massive deaths of the Cloud Sea cultivators just added to this belief, which made them excited. However, they were wrong. Now, all the outer realm cultivators knew they had looked down upon the inner realm cultivators. They had looked down upon the force they could release when their homeland was invaded. The death of the Fire Sparrow clan ancestor had shook their confidence. Esteemed Nan Zhao's miserable scream had collapsed their courage to fight. Finally, the death of Grandmaster Yun Luo had completely destroyed their confidence. It had turned their self-confidence into monstrous fear. This war, we've lost. The outer realm cultivators scattered in terror and retreated like crazy. They were afraid, and they wanted to leave the inner realm. To them, the inner realm cultivators were like lunatics. They didn't care if they lived or died, they only cared if they could kill one more before they died. The poison ocean roared, the mosquito beasts hissed, and the cloud sea cultivators attacked without fearing for their lives. The all-heaven cultivators rushed in and the summoned river cultivators closed in on lightning bolts. All of this formed huge net of slaughter. Wang Lin held up the heaven-splitting axe and charged forward. Every time he swung his axe, cultivators would die. His white clothes had already turned blood red. Then Wang Lin simply turned into a cloud of fog and rushed forward. The fog he formed was more than 100,000 feet wide, and it wrapped around a large amount of cultivators. All of these cultivators had their life force sucked away before they turned into blood water as they died. This was a counterattack. Just like how the Cloud Sea cultivators had been slaughtered, the Inner Realm cultivators were launching the final counterattack in this tragic battle. Under the impact of the All-Heaven and Summoned River cultivators, the Outer Realm suffered even more casualties. The mosquito beasts and poison ocean were like a storm that would take any life they touched. Out of the more than 100,000 Outer Realm cultivators that came, there were less than 80,000 remaining. Just at this moment, the third army from the ancient star system arrived. They appeared outside the realm ceiling formation and were about to rush in. 2 third-step cultivators at the mid-stage of Nirvana Void appeared in front. They were about to bring nearly 50,000 cultivators in. Once they arrived, the routed Outer Realm cultivators would gain the will to resist. The third army hadn't even entered yet, but just their roars were able to make the scared and scattered Outer Realm army show signs of stopping their retreat. There was a flash of coldness in Wang Lin's eyes as he slaughtered. He turned into a vortex and rushed forward. He appeared above the hole in the realm ceiling formation. He stood inside the gap and waved his right hand. His voice spread in all directions. With me here, unless I die, no one can take half a step into the inner realm. As he spoke, popping sounds came from his body. Then his body instantly expanded and his 7-star ancient god body appeared. His tens of thousands of feet tall body was extremely large, enough to shock any cultivator who saw him. Outside the realm ceiling formation, the third army from the outer realm rushed in. They didn't know Wang Lin's might, and despite Wang Lin's large body shocking them, there was no fear in their midst. They were filled with greed and madness as they rushed toward Wang Lin like locusts. Wang Lin stood there as he coldly looked at the outer realm cultivators coming at him. There were 2 third-step cultivators calmly looking at him. His right hand moved to the side, and when the third army of outer realm cultivators arrived, he let out a heaven-shaking roar. Kill! An ethereal firestorm rushed out from Wang Lin's left eye toward the thousands of cultivators in front. Those thousands of cultivators all screamed as they retreated with their bodies burning, then they turned into ashes in an instant. Kill! Wang Lin roared again as the thunder tattoo in his right eye released endless thunder. The endless thunder spread out into a sea of thunder that rapidly expanded. Anyone who was touched by the thunder collapsed. The expressions of the third-step cultivators changed greatly. They didn't hesitate to charge toward Wang Lin. Kill! Wang Lin let out a third roar. He raised the heaven-splitting axe above his head and held it with both his hands. Then he mercilessly chopped down. With this chop, the 7 ancient god stars between Wang Lin's eyebrows rumbled as if they were going to explode. He was using all his ancient god power. With this chop, Wang Lin broke the last silver of confidence the Outer Realm cultivators had. With this chop, the heaven-splitting axe flew out of Wang Lin's hands. The heaven-splitting axe that flew out of Wang Lin's right hand expanded thousands-fold. As it chopped down, a giant rift appeared in space. This rift charged out of the gap in the realm ceiling formation and rushed out. The 2 third-step cultivators were shocked. At this moment, they didn't try to resist but quickly dodged. However, they were slowed by the giant axe. Just as they wanted to dodge, the heaven-splitting axe flew out. Blood sprayed everywhere, and the 2 third-step cultivators both coughed out blood. One of their arms separated from their body as the axe flew by. Their faces were deathly pale and they no longer dared to fight. They rapidly retreated and escaped. Although the 2 of them had managed to dodge with serious injuries, the cultivators of the Third Army could not dodge. As the heaven-splitting axe flew by, a large amount of lives ended. There were no screams, only collapse and disintegration. A giant gap tens of thousands of feet wide appeared in the army after the heaven-splitting axe passed through. This gap was completely empty, leaving only the smell of blood lingering. The heaven-splitting axe penetrated the cultivator army and flew off into the distance. It only slowly dissipated after flying out more than 1,000,000 feet away. The Outer Realm was completely silent. The third wave of Outer Realm cultivators stared in shock at the gap created by the heaven-splitting axe, and their hearts trembled. In the Inner Realm, the invading Outer Realm cultivators who saw this revealed despair. Anyone who enters the Inner Realm will die. Wang Lin clenched his right fist and coldly stared at the Outer Realm cultivators outside the realm ceiling formation. His voice was like a gust of cold wind. Just at this moment, the roar of a horn rapidly came from the ancient star system and entered the Inner Realm through the gap in the realm ceiling formation. This horn sound seemed to awaken the terrified third wave of Outer Realm cultivators, and they looked at Wang Lin with complicated gazes. They engraved Wang Lin's appearance in their hearts. In a flash, the third wave of cultivators slowly retreated and no longer charged toward the realm ceiling formation. They were flying off back into the ancient star system. The sound of the horn entered the Inner Realm and was heard by the tens of thousands of Outer Realm cultivators. They retreated even faster toward the gap in the realm ceiling formation. The shadow that was casted on their hearts by Wang Lin and the Inner Realm would linger forever. However, Wang Lin was standing in the gap in the realm ceiling formation. Not only had he blocked the third wave from entering, he was now indirectly blocking the only path of escape for the Outer Realm cultivators that had entered the Inner Realm. You all have killed tens of thousands of my Inner Realm's Cloud Sea cultivators. How can I let you all come and go as you wish? There was a flash of coldness in Wang Lin's eyes and he didn't retreat half a step. The All-Heaven cultivators, the Summoned River cultivators, the remaining thousands of Cloud Sea cultivators, the Howling Poison Ocean, and the tens of thousands of mosquito beasts all charged at the retreating Outer Realm cultivators. As rumbles echoed, even more Outer Realm cultivators died. Desperation caused a sense of madness to erupt from within them, and they charged toward the gap where Wang Lin was. They wanted to leave, they wanted to return to the ancient star system. Tens of thousands of cultivators rushed toward the gap, with the Inner Realm cultivators chasing them. At this moment, all the cultivators were charging toward where Wang Lin was. Ethereal fire spread, and all the Outer Realm cultivators that were rushing over were burned by the ethereal fire. Master South Cloud had finished the slowest part of the repair and it was near its end. The gap in the realm ceiling formation was gradually closing, which made the Outer Realm cultivators even more crazy. They continued to close in while Wang Lin's ethereal fire raged. No cultivator could get within 5,000 feet of Wang Lin. He stood there like a door sealing the heavens. No one could cross. The cold-looking boy, the celestial imperial concubine, and the remaining third-step cultivators of the Outer Realm were also anxious. However, due to being blocked by Master Hongshan and company, they couldn't do anything. This battle was far more tragic than anything Wang Lin had seen in his life. Even with Wang Lin's heart of slaughter, he felt mournful. He raised his right hand and waved, sending out more than 10 ancient leaves toward the outer realm cultivators. These leaves formed more than 10 layers of seals and stopped these tens of thousands of outer realm cultivators from escaping. The eyes of the all-heaven cultivators, the female cultivators from Summoned River, and the thousands of Cloud Sea cultivators were red from killing. Their deaths and injuries were also heavy. If not for the poison ocean and the mosquito beasts, this battle would have been even more difficult for them. I want all of you who came from the outer realm to die. None of you will leave. Wang Lin's words were filled with determination. After the ancient leaves came out, his right hand quickly formed seals and endless restrictions appeared. The outer realm cultivators that were sealed were filled with despair as the slaughter continued. If they knew this would happen, they would have never dared to step into the inner realm. Just before the restrictions appeared from Wang Lin's right hand, a sigh came from the ancient star system. Then a burst of blue light accompanied the sigh. A person slowly walked out of the blue light. Wang Lin was familiar with this sigh. When he heard this sound, his heart sank. He turned his head to look at the rapidly recovering realm sealing formation and saw the middle-aged man that had walked out of the blue light. "Let them come back," the middle-aged man said slowly as he looked at Wang Lin. "Dao Master Blue Dream." The pupils of Master South Cloud, who was repairing the realm sealing formation, shrank. Dao Master Blue Dream had already reached peak of the arcane void stage, so he was no match for him. The power of a peak arcane void cultivator was terrifying beyond imagination. Among the 5 masters, not even Devil Master 9 Heaven and Dao Master Miao Yin could compare to Dao Master Blue Dream. There was only a sliver of difference in their cultivation levels, but that sliver was like a gully. Almost no one could make the sovereign change his plans. Miao Yin couldn't, 9 Heavens couldn't, but Blue Dream could. Master Hongshan, who was battling the cold-looking boy, also became serious. Dao Master Blue Dream was simply too famous. Wang Lin's right hand paused for a moment as he looked at middle-aged man. The sound of slaughter still echoed in his ears. After a long time, he shook his head. "I don't want to attack you. Due to my kindness to you before, let them come back. My ancient star system has lost this first battle. Now, don't force me." The middle-aged man was calm and his voice was not strong, but it was filled with an irrefutable pressure. The sound of slaughter slowly stopped. Aside from Master Hongshan and company, who were still fighting, everyone else focused on Wang Lin, waiting for his answer. Wang Lin had already made the inner realm cultivators respect his identity as the Lord of the Seal Realm. Although his cultivation level wasn't as high as Master Hongshan's, to them, he was worthy of being the Lord of the Sealed Realm. Wang Lin silently pondered as he looked at the middle-aged man, and a moment later, he clasped his hands and a determined gaze appeared in his eyes. He waved his right hand and millions of restrictions appeared and condensed into a giant umbrella bone. When the bone appeared, the umbrella slowly spread out and the realm-burning umbrella suddenly appeared. Daoist Master Blue Dream looked profoundly at Wang Lin and shook his head with a sigh. "Due to my daughter, I have passed you spells and a Dao spell to avoid the Celestial Imperial Concubine's attack. That was the first time. The Sovereign's fishing the moon in the well was the second time. Today is the third time. However, Wang Lin, you have to remember that there will not be a fourth time. The fourth time, I'll attack." Dao Master Blue Dream withdrew his gaze and turned around. He ignored everything and disappeared in a flash of blue light. The moment he disappeared, the realm-burning umbrella completely appeared. The umbrella hadn't opened yet, but an eternal, destructive fire appeared. Looking at where Dao Master Blue Dream disappeared, the faint shadow of a woman appeared before him. The woman was shaking her head and faintly smiling. Those words from hundreds of years ago appeared in his mind. "Let us forget each other." The loss of vitality caused the woman's shadow to fade. All the vitality in Wang Lin's body rushed into the realm-burning umbrella and turned into a force that would support the opening of this umbrella. Thunderous rumbles echoed as the realm-burning umbrella slowly opened. The destructive fire rushed out and covered the area. Countless cultivators struggled in the sea of fire, and their distorted faces seemed to drill into Wang Lin's eyes. The first battle seemed like it was about to come to an end, with the ancient umbrella opening and both sides suffering heavy casualties. However, just at this moment, killing intent that shook Wang Lin's mind came from the ancient star system and locked onto the area between Wang Lin's eyebrows. Wang Lin's eyes narrowed as he looked at the gap in the realm ceiling formation that had already healed to less than 1,000 feet wide. He saw one person, a person in white. He was holding a bow, and it was pointed at Wang Lin. The sovereign's head disciple, Feng Yi. Wang Lin had seen this bow before. Dao Ji Li Guang. The bow that shot down the ancient order's left eye? A heaven-shaking supernatural treasure that could be considered the peak of creation. It had even pierced through the ancient order's powerful Dao spell. A powerful bow that had taken away his feelings for his home, taken away half of his memories. When Wang Lin sat on the throne in the ancient order tomb and entered that dreamlike state, he personally saw the might of the Li Kuang bow. That arrow was enough to shake the world. In Wang Lin's eyes, even the realm ceiling formation would collapse before its power without any ability to resist. This bow didn't belong to this world. It was an important treasure from the hometown of the ancient order. This was the strongest treasure Wang Lin had seen beside the heaven-defying bead and the compass pointer from the fallen land. How could Wang Lin not be frightened by this treasure? His pupils shrank and he felt an indescribable chill spread across his body. He even felt waves of pain coming from between his eyebrows. All the hair on his body stood up and a sense of life and death appeared in his heart. This feeling rapidly spread across his body. That bow was taken away by the seven-colored Daoist back then, and now it's in his hands. This person is the head disciple of the sovereign. Could the sovereign have something to do with the seven-colored Daoist? Wang Lin stared at the young man in white with a cold gaze. The young man's face was aging rapidly as the bow absorbed his life force. He was drawing the bow by force using his life force. Aside from the seven-colored Daoist, Wang Lin could be the only person who knew the origin of this bow and seen this bow in action. The solemn look that appeared in his eyes aroused a lot of confusion in the others. From the view of outsiders, the young man in white was only at the early stage of Nirvana Scrya, and the bow in his hand gave off no fluctuations, as if it was an ordinary bow. Wang Lin's serious expression suppressed his mind, allowing him to enter a state of emptiness. It was as if everything else had disappeared and only the bow that was being slowly drawn remained. Fortunately, this bow had no arrows. The only arrow had disappeared into the void after taking the ancient order's left eye. No one knew if that shocking arrow still existed or where it was. Wang Lin thought that if he could find the arrow, he could find where the ancient order's left eye had gone. However, unless this arrow was in a place where no one existed, someone would have obtained it and shaken the stars. It could even cause a calamity as people fought for it, just like the heaven-defying bead. However, until now, Wang Lin hadn't heard of anything related to this arrow from old myths or legends. It was as if this arrow had disappeared without a trace. Although the bow without an arrow was still terrifying, it couldn't compare to how terrifying it was in the past. If it had the arrow, Wang Lin would have no chance of surviving a shot from this bow. He stared at the young man in white. All of this young man's actions became slow in Wang Lin's eyes. Wang Lin watched the young man raise his hand and slowly pull the bowstring into a full moon. At this moment, Wang Lin felt intense pain coming from between his eyebrows. Under this intense pain, Wang Lin felt like a stake had pierced through his skull and into his brain. Sweat came from Wang Lin's forehead. All of this happened in the instant. Wang Lin turned and looked at the young man in white pulling the bow. When Wang Lin saw this bow, a monstrous roar came from his body. He turned around and his body became blurry as if he was going to fuse with the world. At the same time, Wang Lin rapidly raised his hand and his 7 ancient stars rotated like crazy and flew out of his forehead. The 7 stars rotated before him, giving off a powerful ancient god aura. As the ancient god aura spread, the ancient order head immediately appeared before Wang Li. All of this happened in an instant. Wang Lin had set up everything the instant he was going to leave. His reaction was so fast that even the young man in white was startled. Then there was a flash of coldness in his eyes. Could it be that he recognizes the bow? As the young man in white thought of this, his hand that was holding onto the bowstring loosened. As the string loosened, there was a buzzing sound. At first it was weak, and a powerful light gathered on the bow. The young man's left hand was originally filled with flesh and blood, but at this instant, all the flesh and blood began to wither. It wasn't just his left arm, it rapidly spread until half his body was like a mummy. However, it was all hidden under his large robe, so others couldn't see it clearly. It was as if a large amount of his vitality had entered the bow the moment he loosened the string. The light gathered until it formed a milky white phantom arrow. When the bowstring loosened, this arrow shot forward. This arrow was very fast. It instantly broke through the void toward the gap in the realm ceiling formation that was less than 500 feet wide. As the phantom arrow closed in on the gap, that weak burst suddenly reached a peak and turned into a roar that shook the heavens. The cultivators inside the realm ceiling formation, both inner and outer realm cultivators, were shaken by this roar. It was as if their minds and origin energy were being sucked away by this roar. This caused these countless cultivators to bleed from their orifices. There were cultivators from both sides that were already seriously injured that couldn't bear this roar. They coughed out blood, their origin souls collapsed, and they immediately died. The roar from his arrow caused Master Hongshan, Master South Cloud, and the other third-step cultivators all stopped fighting. They looked up with shock on their faces. Only the Celestial Imperial Concubine and Purple Dream from the Summoned River revealed a hint of fear in their eyes when they saw the bow. That bow? That bow is in his hand. A startling howl echoed as the phantom white arrow shot toward the gap inside the realm ceiling formation. The moment it charged in, even the realm ceiling formation trembled. Not just part of the realm ceiling formation, but the entire realm ceiling formation that sealed the entire inner realm began to tremble violently. This video will end here.